Hello, Colin Strang once again, talking to you about the food and beverage industry. And today I'm joined by Zoran Solvelia from Infor. Zoran is a member of the industry team for the food and beverage industry. And today we're going to be talking about creating sustainable food and beverage supply chains through technology. Zoran.
Thank you, Colin, for having me today. Pleasure.
With consumers demanding more transparency in supply chain processes, what's been your experience in the industry?
So we know that 30 to 40% of all food produced goes to waste. This equates to 1.3 billion tons per year, or $1 trillion in dollar value. This is enough waste to fill football stadiums 100 times over. And many consumers are aware of this, and society cannot continue operating like this anymore. So it's unsustainable on many levels, and companies have recognized consumers or customer sentiment, and many are now re-examining the way they source, produce, and deliver food. Combined with shareholder pressure, companies on the forefront will continue to win over shareholders and ultimately win more customers. Complete supply chain visibility, whether it's grape to glass, farm to fork, bean to cup, or ocean to plate, is paramount, and technology has a big part to play in this. It gives F&B companies the visibility they need throughout the entire supply chain, and to better communicate with their customers and target markets. So the first step clearly comes from within the leadership team themselves and the vision they have. And I can tell you, they better have a vision that is customer-centric, or they're not going to be in their chairs very long. It's a battlefield out there, and ESG cannot be a buzzword hashtagged on your social media profile anymore. Companies can start with benchmarking themselves against industry leaders and have a net zero organization-wide target by 2030 or 2040, for example. ESG measures and KPIs are a necessity that will lead to higher investor confidence, earn customer loyalty, and improve financial performance overall. And did we mention higher employee satisfaction and retention? That's the emerging winner nowadays, and companies really are the sum of not just their products, but their people. Now, remembering that with efficiencies in R&D and production, the carbon footprint is also reduced. For example, less water and energy is wasted, and more is achieved using fewer resources. This is key. So getting safe products to market rapidly requires better collaboration across all divisions with one version of the truth. And a good ERP which is industry specific and has its industry specific add-ons, can help companies achieve this. There are multiple examples and case studies of customers who have reduced, for example, labeling reworks by 90%. A very famous beverage manufacturer and the finance department, which had tasks that used to take them weeks to complete, can now be done within days.
So your food and beverage business to become more sustainable, you must start at the beginning of the supply chain. That's because responsible sourcing of your ingredients and raw materials is one of the most critical pillars of a solid sustainability initiative. In fact, 85% of consumers have already started to shift their purchase behaviors toward more sustainable options. What role does sustainable sourcing play in the supply chain, in your opinion, and can brands source materials more responsibly?
Colin, supply chains are complex beasts, especially for larger companies whose supply chain, according to a recent McKinsey report, stated that your typical consumer CPG company supply chain creates far greater social and environmental costs than its own internal operations, with more than 80% of greenhouse gas emissions impacting air, land, water, biodiversity, and geological resources. In my opinion, brands must always be measuring the impact they are making on reducing their footprint to remain competitive, not just today, but in the future as well. Brands must find a balance between profitability, and sustainability. We know that by looking after the environment, by reducing the amount of resources, water, fossil fuels, etc., we're also making a positive contribution to the health of our planet, which will see fewer natural resources and disasters like we just had in Australia with the droughts, now the floods, impacting and destroying agricultural crops and raising the price of local grain and fresh produce, your fruit and veg.
True sustainability comes with visibility of your supply chain processes, but how can business ensure responsible sourcing and maintain continuous monitoring, for example?
Okay, so many companies I speak with are playing catch up. But the good news is that technology can help transform these businesses and support their sustainability initiatives with proper data and improved visibility into supply chains to help make better and cleaner decisions from the sourcing of the raw materials faster. ERP technology provides transparent information about all suppliers across the supply chain. So an ERP will help identify your trustworthy suppliers, meaning that you can partner with suppliers who share the same ethical values, such as you as a brand. You can secure trading partner relationships, meaning that allowing partners, for instance, access into your organization on a role-based level to help them assist you with your planning. This technology exists. So this technology exists to support these types of functions and activities. It can also monitor shipping provenance, meaning that we can leverage, for example, nowadays, the information of things or the Internet of Things, and organizations can now track movement and the condition of their goods. They can monitor temperature of their perishable goods, for example, apply best before labeling to meet food safety and regulatory compliance. Good ERPs, in essence, will continually be providing the companies and their supply chain planning teams with the information that they need.
Yeah, Zoran, how do you think technologies such as Industry 4, for example, or CloudSuite food and beverage, products like Optiva, the product lifecycle management system, how can these help meet consumer expectations and help increase transparency in the supply chain?
Well, it really comes down to having one version of truth, which helps us identify issues company-wide across different divisions. Here at Infor, we believe that information and collaboration are key to this. We are seeing that successful food companies who identify both risks but opportunities also are quicker to drive action and are usually first to market with a head start on product innovation. And with this, Colin, comes a hell of a lot of PR, much of it generated organically. So Industry 4.0 allows for better connectivity across the organisation, and together with CloudSuite, provides finance teams with efficient reporting and will remove siloed processes from R&D to quality. It will allow for manufacturing of the food safely, on time, on budget, to the end consumer with transparency and traceability from farm to plate, warehouse to even retail shelves. It's capable of tracking on a lot and sub-lot level. CloudSuite and Optiva will provide senior management with the visibility needed for planning, supply to meet demand, production planning, scheduling for optimum tank flow with built-in allergens, proper bomb and reverse bomb capabilities. For instance, with CloudSuite, it can run plain milk before flavored, chocolate milk before the chopped berry varieties. This all leads to less strain on water, on waste, on energy, which then ultimately minimises the company's carbon footprint.